These are my all-time favorite episodes to listen to. Anytime anyone who has launched gives a launch debrief, it doesn't matter if it's a course or a digital product, man, I eat that stuff up. I love data and numbers and seeing what other people are doing. So I knew I wanted that to be a part of my podcast as well. So today I'm going to be doing a deep dive into a launch I did in June of 2023. And I'm going to give you all the data, all the details, so you can really see how my launches work and exactly what happened and what I learned from it. So it's going to really help you to understand what the course I was selling was about and who it was for. So this is actually a course called The Resource Academy. And this course is for teachers who want to create and sell teacher resources. Now, not everyone who signs up for the course wants to sell them. Some teachers just want to create resources for their classroom. And if you're not a teacher, you may be saying, what's a resource? What are you talking about? So this could be a worksheet. This could be an activity that teachers do in the classroom, like a maze or a color by number or a scavenger hunt. It could be assessments. And the reason I actually started this course back in 2019, this was the course that actually allowed me to quit my teaching job and allowed my husband to quit. It all started with this course, and it was actually called Math Resource Academy when I first started it, because it was just for math teachers. I was a high school math teacher. And then before I did this launch, I expanded it to all teachers, which is an important detail because I really think that helped with the success of the launch, to be honest. So the Resource Academy is the course, and the price point for this course is $397, or teachers can choose a payment plan of $37 a month for 12 months. It's not a membership, it's just a payment plan, where after they pay the 12th and final payment, they no longer continue to pay, but they still maintain access to the course. I do give lifetime access. So I'm just going to kind of give a rundown of everything that happened that allowed me to earn around $70K in 7 days. And that is $70K in my bank account, and will allow me, if all payment plans go through, to earn by May of 2024, I had to make sure that math was right, will allow me to have earned $177,148 total from this one launch. And that's if all payment plans go through. I know they won't all go through, but I do have a pretty good rate of payment plans going through with teachers. So I don't really have an issue with that. Okay, so I just wanted to kind of lay the groundwork of what this course was and a few more details before I get into the numbers of things that I did right before I launched this course. So I told you guys that this course was originally called Math Resource Academy, and I kept having teachers ask me, do you have anything for science teachers or English teachers? And the more I looked at what was inside the course, there was really just one module that was specifically about math, and that was teaching teachers how to make the math graphics, because this is something we don't learn in school as a teacher, and a lot of teachers don't have a textbook. I did not have a textbook when I was in the classroom. So teachers are purchasing their own materials, or they're making their own. If you're not a teacher, you're probably like, that's crazy, but that's the reality for a lot of teachers. So that's why there's such a need for this course, is because teachers need resources and they don't learn how to make them in college. So there was a disconnect there. There was a gap, and I filled that gap. So it was Math Resource Academy, but like I said, the more I was looking at it, the more I realized that the majority of the course could work for any grade level, any subject area. So what I did was I updated the entire course, because it had been like 4 years since I created it, so it needed some updates. And I added a module about creating resources for other subject areas. Like, for example, if you are an English teacher, how do you make sure that you can use the book title in your resource and keep it, legal? So just things like that would apply to people outside of the math classroom. So I redid the course, I added some things to it, and I renamed it The Resource Academy, and I changed it, my marketing, so that people knew that this course was for any teacher, not just for math teachers. So I do think that really helped not only because it was a brand new course now, because I had updated everything was fresh and updated, but also expanding my audience helped with this launch and was one of the reasons why it was successful. Okay, so that's what I did before I launched. So every live launch I do is a challenge, which means I have a free 3 or 4 day training, and at the end of the training, I'm challenging them to do something. They have some type of action step to take. So for this particular course, what I do is, this is called the Resource Challenge, and it was a 4-day challenge, and each day of the challenge, I'm training teachers how to make a piece of a resource so that by the end of the challenge, they have a resource completed. And the reason I do this is because this course is really skill-based, and so it's important for teachers to understand how simple it can be to create a resource. And that's kind of what I teach in the challenge. Like, this is easy, you can do this. But by the end of the challenge, they're not thinking, oh, well, I have everything I need, because that's just one type of resource. And my course teaches a lot. And that's important with the challenge. And I'll probably go into challenges in another episode. That's not what we're here for today. But just to kind of lay the groundwork of what the challenge was. So we had these 4 days for the challenge. They received a video every day with just a piece of the resource. That was June 2nd through 5th. And then on the last day of the challenge was also the first day of open cart. So it was the first day that teachers could buy. So the cart was open from the 5th to the 11th. And after the 11th, they could no longer buy. The doors closed. All right, so that's how the challenge and the launch was laid out. All right, so let's talk about the data, the numbers. Let me pull up here what I got. So I want to be completely transparent with you, because I feel like sometimes people will say these huge numbers, but they don't really give you the full picture. And so they make it seem like someone in the very beginning could have this huge launch, which I'm not saying it's impossible. It's totally possible, but it took me a long time to get to these big numbers because I've been doing this a while. The first time I launched this course was 2019. So this is 4 years later when I'm launching for this launch. So I'm going to give you all of the stats here. So before the launch started, I had an email list size of 23,000 people. So that's big. But I've been working on that email list for 4 years. So just to kind of let you know, like, you don't have to have a huge email list for your first launch, but you're also probably not going to make a huge amount of money in the first launch, and that's okay. You start and then you grow and grow and grow and grow. And then I added people to my email list during the launch, because the launch is a great time to add to your email list. I added about 6,000 people during the launch from Facebook ads. So during the challenge promotional period, I run Facebook ads, not to the course, but to encourage people to sign up for the challenge. I'm also sending emails to my list, because I may have had people on my list for a long time that have never joined my course, but they're probably interested in this challenge, and this may be the launch where they join. So I'm sending people to the challenge sign up page. So I had 9,207 teachers sign up for this challenge, which again is a big amount of challenge participants, and not something that I would recommend trying to shoot for your first launch. I've been doing this a while. This is like my 7th or 8th launch. So I had almost 10,000 teachers in the challenge. I spent $16,729.38 on ads. Again, not something that I recommend in the beginning. You don't even have to run ads for your first launch. I just want to be transparent because I feel like that's missing in our industry. So that's how much I spent on ads. I will say that in the teacher niche, I have noticed that the cost per lead is lower compared to other industries. So my cost per lead was about $2, between $2 and $2.50. So that's relatively low for a live challenge. In my course niche, I'm paying more like $5 to $10 per lead. So just to kind of clarify there. Okay, so that is kind of the stats of the challenge piece and what I spent on ads. So let's talk about sales. So I had 2 different payment options. I had the pay in full, which is $397, and then I had the payment plan of $37 a month for 12 months. Now, normally I do not recommend a 12-month payment plan because there's absolutely no way you're going to get 100% of those payments. It's just not going to happen because people are going to forget, wait, why did I sign up for this? They're going to think it's a membership because it's such a long payment plan. But I did this for a specific reason. I knew that the economy wasn't great in the summer of 2023. It's still not great right now. I knew teachers were struggling. I knew that teachers didn't have a ton of extra money to be spending on professional development or courses. So I purposely created that low payment plan from the get-go because I knew that that's what teachers needed. So you really want to make your course accessible to your audience and think about who your audience is. And it worked because, and I've never had this happen before, this was the first launch, but I had 142 people pay in full, so they paid the full $397, and 272 people chose the payment plan. I've never had that many more people choose the payment plan, and that let me know that that was the right decision for this launch because the payment plan actually, I think it's, let me grab my calculator here. Not trying to do that in my head and embarrass myself on here as a former math teacher. Okay, so the payment plan when they actually finish all payments is $444. So they're paying more than if they would have paid in full, but they didn't have the money or they just were scared to pay in full. So they needed that lower monthly payment plan. So 272 people bought the payment plan. I also had an upsell during the launch. I didn't add it until day 4 to the checkout, but an upsell is when people check out, they can check a box and it says, oh yeah, I want to add this additional thing. And the upsell was $37. It was a little training about how teachers can use ChatGPT to make their resources. And I had 86 people grab that at $37. So my conversion rate overall, and I calculate conversion rate based on how many people signed up for the challenge and how many people purchased. So how many people purchased divided by how many people signed up for the challenge times 100. So my sales conversion rate was 4.5%, and that's actually on the lower end for me. For a live launch, I've had up to 10, 12%. But the economy is different right now. Things are just different. So I wanted to make sure that I was adjusting things to make the sales I still needed to make, even if my conversion rate was lower. That's why I wanted so many people in the challenge, because I knew I might have a lower conversion rate. But the more eyeballs on my product, my course, the more sales I could potentially make. And I was happy with that conversion rate. I had 8 refunds. That's actually the most amount of refunds I've ever gotten. And when I did a deep dive into the data, I noticed that 5 out of the 8 refunds were people that they had already purchased my course, but they didn't realize it was the same course because I changed the name. So it was Math Resource Academy. They had already purchased that. This is the Resource Academy. And even though I told all my current members, like, don't purchase this, some people don't read emails, it's fine. So of course I refunded them because they already had access to this course. So really it was 3 people who purchased and then didn't want the course, which is not bad. So that means that if all of the payment plans go through, I will end up making $177,148 from that one launch in June. Now, normally having so many people use the payment plan would freak me out a little bit, but honestly, it's been nice to have consistent recurring revenue each month. So each month when everyone's payment plan goes through, I get a pretty big chunk of change, and I know that that's going to happen every single month from when the launch was in June until May, when all the payment plans wrap up, and then I'll be gearing up for my next launch. So it actually turned out pretty cool, even though I didn't get a huge chunk of change like I'm used to in the bank right away. I ended up with $70K, which, listen, I know that's a lot. I know that's a lot of money. I am totally okay with that, but I'm just used to getting more upfront than waiting. But it was cool to have that monthly recurring revenue and know I'm going to get that in my bank account each month. Okay, so that is pretty much all of the data. As far as what I learned from this launch, I definitely think looking at my audience and adjusting to what they need, listening to my audience. So I had people asking me for, training for not just math teachers, but other teachers. So I listened to them, I expanded the course, and I think that's why I had so many more teachers purchase because my audience was bigger. That was really helpful. I think having that low payment plan helped. Some things that I did that I won't be doing again, Wednesday of open cart on day 3, I added a 1-day bonus, which I've never done before, which means if people purchased that day only, they got this additional bonus, which really increased my sales on that one day. But then I had so many people that didn't read the email that day, or they didn't understand that it was only for that day, and then they got mad at me. So I got a lot of ugly emails. And I know that happens. It's going to happen. It's fine. But I think what I should have done and what I will do next time is if I add like a brand new bonus, I will let everyone else get that bonus too. Like from the day I add it until close cart. I won't just have it for that day only because it just caused too much confusion. And I don't think it really increased my total amount of sales that much. Some other things that I will be doing next time. So I think it's really important to know that I use a Facebook group, a pop-up Facebook group during my challenge, and it's only open during the challenge period. But I've noticed in previous launches that I might have, 8,000 people sign up for the challenge, but only 4,000 are in the Facebook group, so 50%. And I know that when people are in the Facebook group, it encourages them to buy because anytime they open the Facebook app on their phone, they're going to see posts about the challenge, and it reminds them, oh yeah, I need to watch the videos. Oh yeah, this launch is going on. I need to check it out. It just keeps my launch top of mind. So something that I did this time differently is when someone goes to the challenge sign-up page and they put in their name and email, then on the thank you page, it says, wait, you're not done. Join the Facebook group. And it was right there. Normally I have something like, oh yay, you're in, here's what to do next. And then they have to scroll down and it says to join the Facebook group. But this time it was like the first thing. And I had that red stop sign emoji and it was like, wait, stop, you're not done, join the group. And so I had a higher percentage of people in the Facebook group, which I think did contribute to more sales because it was top of mind. Another thing that I did that really worked is when people purchased, they get a confirmation email from me. And in that email, I had a contest where if people shared that they had joined inside the pop-up Facebook group, they could be entered to win a gift card. And so when people started joining, they started posting that in the group. Oh, I joined. I'm so excited. I joined. I can't wait to get started. So other people who hadn't joined yet, they were like, wait, all these people are joining. I want to join. And it kind of gave them FOMO, and it also kept this course top of mind, and that really helped. Okay. I think that's everything. Man, this was a lot of numbers and a lot of data, but I hope this is helpful to see how I made $70K in the bank in just 7 days. And I am set up to make over $170K over the next however many months until May 2024. So it was a great launch and I cannot wait to do it again. We will have another episode in the spring as we are gearing up for our summer launch to really go over the details of how we get a launch set up and all of the pieces that go into a live launch. So I can't wait for that episode and I will see you there.